is live again at TIP Annual Conference, and this is the last session for today. It's day 5. If you have had any form of value being here, let me see the comments in the comment section where you are saying what has happened to you in the past 5 days. If there's nothing that you've seen, just know that this whole Shiloh process, I call it our parenting Shiloh. That's what we call it. And this whole Shiloh process has just been amazing. I am your host, your moderator today, and my name is Wendy Ologe. I am the chief servant at the Intentional Parent Academy. You can call me VC. That's what the parents in the inner circle call me, the Vice Chancellor of the Intentional Parenting Academy. All right, thank you for being here. Our guest is also here. But before we go live, before we bring our guest in the studio, let us take a look at the review of many parents that are in the inner circle. We've been talking about the inner circle now for a while. Somebody who shared their review just before now said that except you are in the inner circle, you don't get it. It is best experienced than just coming to talk about it. So let's look at this review from a parent as we go on this evening.
Hello, my name is Faithful Otitigbe. I'm a missionary mom of 3, an intentional parent, and a member of the VIP, the Inner Circle, the Yadas. Yes, I'm an Inner Circle parent and a senior Yada. So, the intentional parent journey has been very profound for me. It all started when I had, will I call it an encounter with my daughter. That very day, she made a little mistake while washing the plates, and I turned, wanting to correct her. But I immediately saw fear in her eyes, and she went down and said, looking straight into my eyes, "Mommy, please stop beating me." That was a soul call for me, and I froze. I knew from that point I needed to do something different about my parenting. So I started making researches. I stumbled on a few parenting courses I took here and there. And then I met the book of Connect to Correct on Facebook. Somebody was actually advertising the book. After reading the back cover of the book, I said I wanted to get this book. I couldn't get it then where I was, but I kept pressing until I got it. When I finally got it was the time the call for the inner circle was coming up, and I plugged in. I entered the inner circle without really a clue of what it was going to be, but I just had this desire to parent better. I wanted my children to be raised better. I was raised quite okay, but I wanted to do something different and something more. And so the journey started. And one thing that stuck with me as we started was when the convener of the group, Wendy Olunge, said parenting was about me, about you, the parent, and not the child. That word stuck to me for days. And I kept asking, how would parenting be about me? Then things started unfolding stage by stage. We started with the book studies, and the whole process has been more like unveiling me, discovering me, transforming me, and then passing it on to my children. Being in that circle has affected everything about my family life and even my work life. It has helped me have better relationship. It has helped me connect more with people, because the things you learn are not just for your children. The things you learn go beyond your children to your everyday life. You can just see it, being applied, and then you see the reality and the results at your face. So that has been one thing about the inner circle that has stuck with me. It has been a journey, it has been a process. For my children, I've seen that fear gradually peel off my daughter's eyes. I've also had to grow more with them, bond more with them, understand them more as we go on. I've had to know, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. And one big thing for me is the fact that I've been able to get my spouse along in the process, because definitely when anyone sees results, he definitely will buy into whatever you're doing. So you may be asking me, why should I join the inner circle? Probably you don't even relate to what I am saying right now. The truth is, the intentional parent or becoming an intentional parent is not a norm. You're unschooling the old, the way we were raised to become a better parent. And the truth is, you can't do it alone. Whenever anyone is relearning, unlearning, relearning, he needs a tribe. He needs somewhere where he can really grow. Else, he becomes an island. He becomes isolated and then falls back to the old. Becoming an intentional parent will change your belief, will change your structure, will change a whole lot about you. And you need a tribe to strive. Without a tribe, you will go one step forward, 10 steps backward. Trust me. In the inner circle, we are not a circle of perfect parents. We are actually growing together. So we hold each other's hands, accountable. You fall down, there's somebody there to pick you up and tell you, well done, keep running, keep moving. I call it the parenting hub, your safe place where you can come, you can vent your sorrow, you can vent your pain, and be sure that someone is there to encourage you to keep pushing on. So today, I invite you to join the inner circle, and sure, you will have more testimonies than I do. See you there.
Alrighty, so sorry for that break. I got some network threw me out a bit, but I'm back here again. Thank you again and again for listening to that testimonial. All right, that was a parent, a missionary mom of girls. She's here watching because we are having the girl coach come and tell us how to raise girls that lead. I like Irene's session. Last year, Irene came here to talk about raising the 10 over 10 girls. Oh, it was amazing. You want to be here. The next thing you're going to see here will be Irene Bangwell's profile. Sit tight while we look at who our guest is.
Irene Bangwell is an educator, a parenting coach, a mom, and a wife. As an educator, Irene Bangwell and her husband Kingsley are the co-founder of the NOSC 100 Naira a Day Secondary School Kuje. The NOSC 100 Naira a Day Secondary School Kuje is a private public secondary school designed for children from low-income families. For 100 Naira a day, the school children get uniforms, books, lunch, and the girls get sanitary pads monthly. As a parent coach, Irene works with parents to raise girls who are resourceful, determined, unlimited, and not defined by stereotypes. She does this through different approaches. She designs online parenting courses, coaching programs, and challenges that provide parents with the knowledge and skills to have wholesome sex education conversations and relationships with their children, take their daughters from disorganized to responsible and independent, shape angry, abusive little girls into thoughtful women of excellence. She is the host of Parenting Champions Community with Irene Bangwell on Facebook and Telegram, and she runs the Raising Girls handle on raisinggirls.ng. She's the author of 4 highly resourceful parenting books. She's a mother to 2 leading girls who love God, art, science, and want to solve global problems. Along with her husband, they host the Family Street radio show on Abuja Keys 99.9 FM that holds every Sunday at 7 p.m. This show is designed to foster wholesome and happy family ties. Irene sits on a number of boards, including School Resource Center Abuja, Teach to Lead Initiative, and Teens Empowerment and Engagement Network. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome to the 2021 Intentional Parents Conference, Irene Bangwell.
Irene of the Irene! Irene is here! Welcome, babe. Good to see you here. Thank you.
Thank you, sis. Thank you, sis. Thank you. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Irene. Irene is not a guest to the TIP
at all,
conference, to the TIP
at all.
Irene is part of us, and Irene has spoken on this stage severally, something that we do not take for granted. I tell you a bit about Irene raising girls and all of that. I remember sometime just a few years ago, and I said to her, but the way you talk about girls, I think that you're a champion when it comes to raising girls. I don't think any other person does it better than you do. And I remember that day she looked and said, oh, that is true. That is true. And today we have the Raising Girls system, and it's amazing. You want to be here with your pen and paper. Trust me, there's a lot for you to take away from here. It's so much. Don't kid yourself. Share this video with somebody. And be ready with your Instagram and all of that to share about Coach Irene. I'm going to be out of the screen, and you just take it away. Thank you, Irene.
Remember, we have a video. So good evening, everyone. It's always an honor to be out here at TIP.
I do remember.
We have a video. Yes.
So I do remember.
I think we should just start with the video.
Okay.
Yes.
You can start with the introduction while we load that up.
All right. So good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. TIP conference is like Wendy rightly says, is like Shiloh. We come here to rejig, to recalibrate, to rethink some of our old processes, and it's the ideal place to be able to sit down and reflect. Like, you're here this year, you can sit down and say, oh, this is where I was in my parenting last year, and now this is where I am. I like the lineup of speakers, resourceful people all around. Everybody coming from everywhere. So if you're here as a parent, you don't have any excuses. Or when we're growing up, our parents didn't do much for us, and that's because they didn't know much. Now we know so much, and so the onus lies on us to do better with our parenting. So I'm happy to be bringing the girl conversation tonight. So we're going to be starting with a video. I want you to watch that video very intently, and as soon as the video is done, tell me what you think about the video in the comments. I don't know if I can see comments from here, sis. Anyway, Wendy can read out the comments for us. Yep. So after the video plays, please.
Yes, ma, you can. I will post the video soon.
Okay. So after the video plays, I would like people to leave comments and tell me what you took away from the video. I'm not saying what you learned, what you noticed, what you took away. You don't need to learn anything from the video, but just share what you observed, a question you had, or anything. It's just a 3-minute video. I hope you enjoy it.
Sorry, just give us a bit of a little time.
Okay, not a problem at all. Yeah. All right. So welcome. Today I'm going to be talking to us about how to raise your daughter's leadership potential. So I'm going to be looking at some of the things that we already believe. Should a girl even be a leader? What does it mean to be a leader? What is the one tool that I know that can be used to teach girls and nurture leadership in girls? So are you ready for me just yet?
Not yet. Just give me a few more minutes.
Again, my name is Irene Bangwell. I'm talking today about how to raise your daughter's leadership potential. So we're going to be starting with a video, but then let me just start the conversation a little bit.
I guess we are ready for you, ma'am.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, we're having a bit of a slow network challenge. I don't know why that is.
Should I try to play it from my end?
Oh, please, if you can. Okay.
Okay.
To
I think
explore
you're
the
on course. You're on
human
course.
mind, we asked 22 people to solve the same riddle and recorded their responses. Feel free to participate also. Are you ready?
The riddle. A father is about to bring his son to a job interview, applying for a position at a large stockbrokers company in the city. Just as they arrive at the company's parking lot, the son's phone rings. He looks at his father, who says, "Go ahead, answer it." The caller is the trading company CEO, who says, "Good luck, son, you've got this." The son ends the call and once again looks at his father, who is still next to him in their car. How is this possible?
He gets a call from the CEO, but it says,
"Good luck, son."
But he was next to him.
So it's not the father.
I think it was probably an audio recording of his father.
Maybe he made a demo tape.
Like he has two fathers?
This is a hot one.
Maybe it's a word joke, like it's the grandfather of the son.
No, I think his name is Son.
I don't know.
Maybe it's just like an old man, calling a younger guy son.
I have no idea.
The answer. It's his mother.
Oh, that's so stupid. Yes, of course.
I should have thought of that, yes.
The CEO is a woman.
So I'm biased, in a sense. Is this about diversity and inclusion?
That's really mind-blowing, actually.
So I always thought that I'm not very sexist. But in spite of that, I think these subconscious biases are there in everyone's mind.
How much bias I still have in terms of thinking that the CEO needs to be a man.
Yeah, I definitely was picturing a man.
They identify with males more than females these days.
Why can't women also be CEOs or doctors or, right?
When in a company, I mostly think of men.
And it's a shame, I think.
And it's so weird, because I'm a CEO, and I'm a woman.
And I want to be a CEO. Why didn't I think about that? Crap.
I believe women can...
Sis, I think we're good. We can end the video now.
Would they be CEO?
All right, guys, welcome back. So, yep, I'm trying to share my screen. All right, so yeah, good evening, everyone. So I don't know, Wendy, can you help me read out some of the comments that is out there? People who watched the video hopefully were able to make sense of it. So I don't know if you can. I don't know.
Can you
How do I
see?
see
Can
the
you see the
comments? All right.
comments? You should be able to see the comments, Irene.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. Yes. 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 Oh, so Clara Bright said she thought that the person on the phone was the mentor. One person said it's the mother. The other person said, "Oh, they just assumed it was a man." Oh, okay, okay. So I like the feedback that is coming. I'm talking to the right set of people. So once again, good evening, everyone. My name is Irene Bangwell, and tonight I'm going to be having a conversation over the next few minutes. How to raise your daughter's leadership potential. I mean, we're having this conference in Africa, so I can imagine a handful of us who live in Africa will be familiar with these kinds of conversations. But I know that these kind of things are not happening in your home because, I mean, you don't have this kind of thing going on, you know. Abi, do you? In Africa, we always start with the denial. I don't think like this. So today, I want to walk you through some of the practices that we engage in that is stalling the ability of girls to lead, and even what it even means to lead, but also what we can begin to do. Tonight's conversation is not supposed to point fingers, blame. It's not a gender war. It's just a conversation about saying that girls are missing in action, and they're primarily missing in the places that God really needs them to be active. So come with me. I hope it's as engaging. All right. So hello and welcome once again. So we've watched the clip. So let me start. So there's a number of ideas and schools of thought in our world, especially in Africa. I mean, that video is not even it's not African based. And you can see that these biases are almost everywhere. So you can't imagine what the context is in Africa. So number one, socialization around raising girls in Africa is that girls are less than a man. Women are less. There are so many cultural slangs that say, okay, so for instance, I'm Efik. I was born Efik and everything. By marriage, we've migrated and all. So there's a thing they say in Calabar, in Efik, that they say, one of them. It means woman, not just ordinary clothes. So if they say a woman wants to run for office, the very first thinking is, woman will be cloth. Right? The second thing that we have going for us, going against us, is that a woman is nothing without a man. I mean, right when I was finishing university, a number of classmates were getting married at the time, including myself. I remember one of my friends saying, even if he's a disabled man with one leg, at least let her marry. And I was shocked because it didn't matter how beautiful a woman looked. If she wasn't married, something is wrong. That's why you look at your old classmates who are not married funny. No matter how wealthy they are, no matter how successful they are at their career, you still judge them by having children and being married. It's a socialization, and I'm going to show you where that mindset is taking us. All right? Someone is sharing her story. Salome is sharing her story from YouTube saying, I experienced this recently. Someone requested for my CV, and my DP had myself and my husband. So the fellow was addressing me as a sir. Something even happened to me very recently. Sometimes you even go out with your husband and somebody's trying to have a conversation with both of you, but they face your husband because the assumption is that there's nothing upstairs. And it's always beautiful when that happens to me in particular. Africans believe that women are less than a man. Thank you so much, Perpetua. All right. Then another thing is that we believe that a woman cannot be greater than her man. You understand? We don't believe that a woman can be more successful financially. And I'm going to get there. I'm going to get to some of those sickening things that we believe. And then finally, I've actually heard somebody who is like a pastor, say that woman was created for man. So let me play with this a little bit. Number one, God didn't design a woman to be less than a man. The first time God met humanity, he met man and woman, and he gave them the command to dominate, replenish. He gave them same instruction. The only place where a woman appears to be less than a man is not even less, is that she's under his authority. She's not less than him, she's under his authority, is in marriage. What that means that in all of humanity, a woman is only under the authority of one man, the one that has paid her dowry, and is for the purpose of order and structure. Number two, a woman is nothing without God. Man is not equal to God. So that blows that up a little bit as well. Number three, she should not be greater than a man. When a man and a woman come together in marriage, they become team. One person's success is everybody's success. They are not competing, they are collaborating. What determines greatness in any person is assignment and fulfillment. Assignment, diligence, and fulfillment. A man can work in his assignment, be diligent, and fulfill God's purpose, but it doesn't give him some kind of success compared to his wife. And the truth is that success for one person may not be success for another person. So when man and wife work together and determine what success is for them, then there's no such thing as greater, because everybody's success and win adds up to the winning of everyone. Number four, people say woman was created for man. Wrong. Woman was created to fulfill God's purpose and assignment, one of which includes being a helpmate to a man. Women are being born with gifts and talent and different things that is making you know that, oh, being a wife, being a mother are all part of the assignment. They are not all, it's not all of it. But we're just getting started with this conversation. So let's see how far many of us have been, how much deep root some of these socializations have taken. All right. So here's what this thinking has done for us. We have made boys the goalpost for girls. We have made boys the goalpost for girls. So you sit down and everything that a girl does is always about a boy. So look at all those things I said. Some people have the privilege of raising males and females as children. And you have a daughter that is slaving away in the kitchen and the boy is doing absolutely nothing. People come at me and say, oh, you're talking about raising girls. Everything has been done for girls, for girls, for girls, for girls. It's now time for us to turn around to boys. I say, well, everything has been done and done and done to raise dysfunctional girls. Nothing has been done to raise an empowered girl. So all the conversation, every training, women empowerment is done for women. Yeah, we've been doing that so that women can pick the dirt of men. Everything a woman has been taught is so that she can serve a man. So we've made boys the goalpost. I mean, during female genital mutilation, you will hear the nurses say, make we cut her small so the man go enjoy her. So she's now an object that needs to be tweaked for the pleasure of a man. So what does this do for our girls? Our girls from when they're very young, they exaggerate boys in a way that is disturbing. I started mentoring teens like 2008, started holding boot camps for girls and boys to come. And you would find that girls, intelligent, excelling academically, can get up and allow a boy who cannot read, who cannot write, dictate their lives, hit them, sleep with them, make a mess of them, because they somehow reduce their entire existence to the opinion of a boy. Unfortunately, they don't usually realize that the boy whose opinion matters a lot is a child just like they are. So you show up in university, little girls who have not even leaving home for the first time. As I'm talking to you, I'm telling you that I'm seeing pictures in my mind. I'm talking about real people. In my in university days, had this amazing, brilliant girl from the same secondary school as me, intelligent to the core, started hanging out with this guy in the university. Pregnancy and abortions after abortions after abortions after abortions. The young man they used to call him a non-academic student. So the question is, why are we raising girls and exaggerating on the role of boys. So the girls growing up in the home as they are brought with their brothers are saying how the brother can be careless, the brother can be irresponsible. No, the girl has to pick up after him. And even when mother-in-laws are looking out for the girls that will marry their sons, they're looking for the girls that will pick their sons' mess. Sad, but true. When a mother-in-law feels that a girl is strong and opinionated, they feel that she won't be able to cope with their son. And did you notice that I used the word mother-in-law? I did not say father-in-law, because women are the biggest perpetuators of the abuse of other women. Women abuse the woman who is doing female genital mutilation, that wants her to be tied to be sweet to the man, is a woman. Looking for someone that will wash her son's clothes, clean him up, feed him up, tolerate his punches, again, another woman. So because we've made everything, clean the house so that you marry. Is that how you do in your husband's house? Your room is so dirty. If a man comes in here. So because from when they are young, girls think that their whole life is about men. It becomes what they live for. So if in SS1 a boy gives her attention, she believes it's an achievement. Something is wrong with all of this kind of thinking. And I'm sure by now you know. So why should girls be raised to be leaders? Why should girls be raised to be leaders? So the very first thing that came to my mind when I started thinking about this was a very interesting scripture in Psalms 144 verse 12. The Bible says that your sons and daughters will be as a cornerstone, polished after the similitude of a palace. The Bible, people like to make it look as if God had a problem with women when he said they should submit. We don't realize that God asked woman to submit to one man. And that same God that asked a woman to submit to a man, handpicked a woman alone to birth the Messiah. The woman, that is, God made the woman alone. God had to make a decision to work with him, did not tell her to defer to the boyfriend, finished talking to her first, started the journey with her before he started talking to the man. And today, people want to make it look as if God is masculine. In the same Bible, you see a thread of God working with women to restore destinies and purpose. And God is telling us, right in the scriptures, Psalm 144 verse 12, a classic case study that he designed women to lead. And only in their matrimonial homes is a woman lower. And by that is for structural purpose, for order. Jeremiah 1 verse 5 is mind-blowing. I mean, the other time I spent time teaching my daughters about Psalm 144 verse 12, yeah? I spent some time talking with my daughters about Jeremiah 1 verse 5. You mother, you father, you've given birth to a daughter. She likes to talk. She likes to lead. She likes to organize. She likes to do this. She's interested in this. She's interested in that. And you somehow quiet everything that is showing in her design and you make it all about getting married. Tonight, I need you to know that what is inside your child needs to be expressed in order for her to marry right. If your daughters marry before they discover who they are most likely to marry wrong. If a woman marries before she finds purpose, that's your daughter in the house, that you're making mop, sweep, clean, go to the market. Hey, then you come and tell us she's the one doing. If she marries before she discovers her assignment, she's going to marry wrong. Because by the time she discovers assignment and she wants to go after it, Oga at the top will say she's rebellious. So your girls need to stay at home and discover their purpose from home. It has to happen from home. I met my husband in Abuja. I came for a workshop. Young man knows from get-go that he met this girl at a workshop. So traveling is a normal part of my itinerary. Akwiwata, you understand? Traveling is a part of my itinerary. He is not going to wake up and say, you're not traveling. Unless, of course, we have a project at hand that we're working on. And so some people look at me and say, oh, Irene, you've been so blessed to have Kingsley. Look, Kingsley is a pack of gold that God wrapped up and put me in his life. I accept. But I'm telling you that every day, God wants to do that miracle for everyone. And part of it is that God is asking you to unleash your daughters as children, as teenagers, as adolescents, before they get into all the emotional reality of they want to date, they want to do this. They must find themselves first. My first daughter turned 10 on May 1st. And she published her first book. We made her publish her first book. She's been writing all over the house. She watched a movie, what's that movie again? Overcomers. And she was touched by a little girl who didn't have a sense of identity. So she said she wanted to do something about that. She wanted to write for kids who had low self-esteem, who didn't believe in the things God had put inside of them. So we said, go ahead, write it. She designed the book cover. She drew the book cover, 2 book covers. We sent it to a designer. Part of why we did that is because by the time she leaves home at 18, I want her to be confident about who God designed her to be, so that she doesn't shrink. I'm too tired of seeing intelligent women shrink because of the men they married. And let me tell you, a woman who doesn't fulfill God's purpose for her life is a disaster waiting to happen. She cannot be okay. A phone that is used as a hammer is only a matter of time. It will disintegrate. So you're here trying to fit into societal definition of who a girl is. Meanwhile, you're pleasing society and you're making a bomb. It's going to explode. Have you seen the number of women walking out of marriages? Have you seen it? Have you heard the number of women that the main person they were angry at when they were coming out of their marriages were their parents? Have you seen it? And you're looking at that thing happen all around you, and you're still repeating the same cycle. You're still letting your girls speak after your boys, and you're coming to criticize me on social media that everything girls, because you are angry that someone is telling girls to sit up and stop taking the nonsense of untrained boys. So if you're here and you're raising girls, it is time to start telling your girls that, yes, so one day you're going to marry, but there's a kind of man to marry. And marriage is not always equal to good marriage. And you must be a parent who says, my daughter is going to marry safely. Last week in Lugbe in Abuja, a man beat up his wife. Well, they say it's not his wife. He's living lover. They've been cohabiting for 10 years. She's had 4 children for him. She's selling bonds on the street. They argued about a phone charger. He beat her. He hit her head on the wall. She pulled on herself. He didn't think something was wrong with that. They kept her at home. They self-medicated on her and she died. She was somebody's daughter. Who told her to cohabit with a man? Who told her to live with a man who's not married her? Who told her to have sex with a man that is not married to her? Who told her that? Where did she get that from? So many people are going to have a problem with me for a very long time, because by the time I'm done, there will be no girl to have sex with until men marry. So me, I don't even, I worry about people not training their sons, but I'm more concerned that by the time there are no more girls for boys to have sex with, they'll go to God and ask him to fix their urges. So I've told you, Psalms 144 verse 12, God designed for boys and girls to lead. We're in the end times. God needs tools that he can use. And you did hear they talk to marry. Marriage is a part of what God has designed girls for. Marriage is not all that God has designed girls for. And the truth is, if all of us start using that mindset that our daughters have an assignment in God, we will start teaching them how to be wives, parents, and career women. Because we're also having a problem with women not knowing the balance anymore. Women picking career over family or family over career, because there was no orientation in our upbringing that you can do the 3 together. And this is a generation that we need to teach how to do the 3 together. How to have the standard for what makes them commit. It is high time you look at your older sister who is not yet married and tell her, sis, we are rooting for you for whenever you find the God kind of man to be in your life. You get? So you get the point why girls should be leaders, all right? If I'm shouting too much, no vex. So we've concluded on this. Girls have gifts. Girls have talent. The world needs it. But let me give you some statistics to get the conversation on a little bit. In 1970, women made up 38% of all US workers and 8% of STEM workers. So intelligent girls are told by teachers that science is for boys. The girls can't do hard things. And God needs girls in boardrooms. God needs girls in those invention laboratories. God needs girls in engineering. And you're seeing her at home. I don't know if anybody in this live stream is raising a daughter who likes to unscrew and build. They're cutting cartons, they're building things, because they're doing it a lot in my home. They're doing it a lot in my home, and I know it is not my home is not the exception. I know that it's a cultural thing. I know that it's happening everywhere. I mean, I'm coming from my friend's house this evening. She's raising 3 daughters, but 2 are younger. And they build the way my children build. They're designing, they're planning, they're doing stuff. That so much is in their mind. Jeremiah 1:5 is telling us that girls were made for more. How do you look at all of that and reduce it? So they said the proportion has increased to 27%. Women are now 27% of STEM. Well, this is America. Let's try to see if we can try to use the same American statistics and see where our own reality is. Well, in the United States, according to catalyst.org, the number of Black women in engineering and sciences is 2.5%. A few years ago, a company decided to run a campaign for ads for pad, sanitary pad. And the first day the advert hit the media, it died. Do you know why the advert died? It was men that designed it. There were no girls in the room. Food for thought. So here's where we are beginning to pay the price. Number one, we have women living with abusive partners. Then we have girls taking one of 4 moves. We have the rebellious girls. The rebellious girls think that they are the woke generation. They sleep with anybody. They do anything they want to do with their body. And that is their own way of fighting back. They think society is trying to tell you what to do, especially because it's always been about close your legs so that a man can marry you. But the man is opening his legs. So he cannot be the reason she should close her legs. She closes her legs because it's the honorable thing to God and to herself. Man is not in the equation while she's keeping her virginity. I said this last year, I'm saying it again. Girls don't keep their virginity for boys. They keep it to honor God. Because by the design of God, that's not how we are supposed to use our body. So now because we've made it about boys, they've gone crazy. So we have the rebellious. Then we have the pretender. The one who lives dual lives because she's not been able to connect to the bottom line of what God created her to be. We have the hider. The pretender pretends like she's not doing anything. I don't remember why I wrote the hider. I don't even remember, I don't know why I wrote backstabber, but let me talk about the backstabber. That's what I meant to write. You know, I once heard this guy in South Africa, Vusi Tembwayo, so I don't think I got his surname right. He made a very interesting analogy. He said one of the biggest problems with South Africa was that when the white man came, he needed only one woman at the table, right? When the white man came, he needed only one black man at the table. So all the committees and negotiations, they will invite one black man. So black men started competing to be the ones on that table. So even long after the apartheid is over, the success of one black man upsets the other because they feel like that one took their seat at the table. And you may ask, Irene, how does it relate with girls? So let me tell you. Because boys are the goalpost. Girls need men's validation to feel good about themselves. So they fall over themselves to get that validation. Women are not okay. That's why there's side chick culture. She doesn't care how she's hurting the wife. She doesn't care what pain she causes his own. as long as the attention is on her, because you have made it all about male attention. Is it about how women don't want to see each other succeed? Think about it. Something is wrong. We need to raise a generation that believes that all girls are exceptional, so that when another girl succeeds, the other girl sees that, whoa, I can do this. Not to outshine her, not to bring her down, not to cause her pain, but because she's a testimony that our kind can. More girls are living way less than God designed for them to be. They're missing in action in the places they have been called to, including motherhood. Mothers are passing the legacy of victimhood to the next generation. So many mothers don't feel good about themselves, don't feel good about life, and they pass it on to their children. They're complaining, they're grumpy, they're dissatisfied. There's one complaint after the other, one complaint after the other. So eventually we pass on the legacy of it's a man's world to our daughters. We pass on it's a man's world to our daughters. Then our daughters carry it and pass it on. So because we keep passing it's a man's world, it's a man's world, you can't see that girls run the world. One single analogy helps me see that. If we want to stop the bias or disrespect of women from boys, we can stop it in one generation. Boys are being raised by women. The question is, what are the women telling them? The women raising them. What are the women telling them about other women? So women actually run the world. If you want more women in political office, go and raise boys who make room for girls. So I have the privilege by God to run a school at the NOSC. I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. In the first year of our admission, we had 30 girls, 30 students, 20 were girls. We admit 60% girls and 40% boys because data shows that 55% of girls don't finish secondary school. So we admit more girls. So you won't believe what I'm about to tell you. We ran presidential elections with 20 girls and 10 boys. A boy won presidency. A boy won second vice presidency. Do you know why? Because it was because even though girls were more, they believed that leadership was for boys. And the reason they believed is that their parents told them that leadership was for boys. My first daughter was in primary 2 when she came home one day and told me that, asked me, why do boys always want to lead? Omo, I knew that I would not raise an anti-boys child, but I knew I needed to tell her what it takes to lead. So I called her and said, baby, you let boys lead because boys want to lead because you let them lead. It has to be the right candidate that leads. So what is the goal that we're trying to achieve? So we pick the best hand to do it. So by the time she went back to school, she could sit and say, la, 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 what do we want to achieve? Who is the best person to get this done? Who is the best person to get this done? So she snapped out of it. So my daughters don't know what boys can do and what girls can. Because really, unless it is sexual intercourse, unless it needs their private part, boys and women can all do the same things. Except for when a man is impregnating a woman. Anything outside of that, a man and a woman can do it by the design of God. So it's time for us to make a radical shift. It's time for us to make a radical shift. So what's the one tool that we can make this shift with? Sex education. Sex education is powerful, and so many of us are playing with it. We're playing with it, we're avoiding the conversation. Our children are going online to get information that subjugates women. When your daughters Google about sex, the explanations they get online is how they should use their bodies to pleasure a man. And for them, that's power. Now we have a generation of girls that brag on what they can do to a man in bed. And I say, you have to be very dense for that to be your pride, especially for single women. When you're not realizing that the man needs you to think like that so that you're available to be his toy. So for me, it's sex education. And sex education for me is providing a child. Now, I'm going to be talking about a girl now, with the knowledge and skills that she needs to operate in the gender that God called her to be. So God made you a girl. What does that even mean? So I'm going to show you 3 pillars for sex education of girls that radically shift how they perceive themselves, how they perceive boys, and what they can do and what they can't do. So for me, sex education for girls requires a complete reorientation of the girl child about the person that God designed her to be. So I call this girl the body smart girl. I started working on this late last year because, sometimes you're just working and you're saying, Father, what is something that can help me systemically raise this girl in my brain? Raise this girl that you designed. What is the thing in my head that can make this happen? And so I'm just going to share 3 principles. The first one is body boundaries. All right. The first one is body boundaries. So I shared this last year. You want to go out with your daughters and they want to choose dresses and you refuse. You choose dresses for them. It is your opinion that counts. Theirs doesn't count. Why is this so? But when your boys are stubborn, you laugh and say, no my name is boys. Now so men they rubbish. Number 1, body boundaries. Body boundaries means you start teaching your child to see herself as an entity, a full entity that God designed. It is because of being a full entity that somebody cannot touch her private part. It is because of being a full entity that when she gets into the toilet, she should lock the door and people should knock before they come inside. It's because of being a full entity that you teach her how to wash her body so that no caregiver, boy or girl, violates her. It is leadership to teach your child about being conscious about the environment. It's leadership you're developing when you start teaching your child that, that uncle that keeps coming and buying you sweet and tells you to sit on their lap. She can be aware that, no, don't do that to me. It is leadership that you're teaching her when you start telling her, if somebody wants to hug you, they should ask you if they can, which is something I'm teaching my girls. I say, you want to hug someone, ask them, is it okay if I hug you? So I break this down into 3. The first part is body, physical body, where you're teaching her how to clean up yourself and take care of yourself. Like I tell my daughters, you're a queen, you're royalty. Royalty, there's a way the room that royalty sleeps is. Not that they should clean their room for boys, but because they're royalty. My daughters were out with a close friend of mine, close niche friend of mine, and they came back today. I had sanitized the house, cleaned their room, done ballistic in their room. And the moment they came in and they saw the room, I asked them, do you think you deserve to sleep in a room like that? And they thought I was trying to say they had scattered their room before they went out. I said, no. Do you think that you're royalty enough for the room that you sleep in to be clean? And they said, yes. I said, so treat yourself with honor. Treat yourself. Body boundaries, treat yourself with that. Body boundaries is part of why I'm telling them that they need to have personal space. So even between my children, some of us, you say because we are Africa, people touch people's things, carry what does not belong to them. They behave anyhow. I don't allow it. Leadership means you know the things that belong to you. You know where your boundary stops. You respect other people's space. When you want to use somebody's stuff, you take permission from them. And I insist on that on my girls. But guess what? It's cross-cutting. Parent to children, children and all. If I want to use something that belongs to my daughters, I would ask permission for it. Because I want them to grow up with the idea that they're a person. Many girls don't know that they're a person. They think they're objects. Right? Then I come to their mind. One of the things that sex education allows you to teach your child is how to track their thoughts. When they feel like doing a certain thing, what fed it? So I'm teaching them how to take charge of their headspace. When people are toxic and hateful and saying nonsense to you, you don't need them. And I'm starting really early because when they start hitting puberty, that point where the opinion of boys is everything, I'm teaching them how to say, who the heck is this boy whose opinion about my weight, complexion, size, or anything matters? That's body boundaries for me. There are people that don't come near your space. I'm teaching them how to vet people's values. What does this person believe in? Why are they trying to encroach into your space? But also, I'm teaching them that boundaries preserve a territory. When somebody tries to violate your boundary, then somebody has to break through your boundaries, they're going to violate your space. The second thing for me is, under these body boundaries, is teaching my daughters to say no and say no to me. Yeah? When a girl says no, it means she started knowing what she wants and what she doesn't want. Africa doesn't encourage that. I do, because God is not equal to Africa. God wants her to have a mind that he can use so that when the world starts telling her to do otherwise, she's already grounded to know what is right. Do you get? So if I want them to do something and they're like, oh, mommy, no, not now, or mommy, I want them to be able to have opinion. So I can come on and say, hey, why don't you wear the other jacket for? I think it goes with this trouser. I don't say, go and wear that jacket. I say, why don't you? And then they go, oh, it will not go with this trouser. I think it will not go with this. I think it will not go with that. I respect their boundaries. I don't drag them and put everything, let me digress a bit. One of the first things that made me start rethinking flogging my daughters, at the onset, I used to flog my girls. But one of the things that made me start rethinking it was, if I say that when I hit my daughters, it's because I love them. So how is it that when their boyfriend hits them, it's not because he loves them? Do you understand? So I hit my daughters and tell them it's because I love you. Then their husband hits them. Then I start fighting and saying no. I want them to grow up knowing that there are boundaries. Nobody crosses it, not even my parent. Do you get the idea? So with the body boundary, even with sharing with each other, I want them to decide that they want to share. I want my daughter to say, oh, mom, I would really like to give her this ice cream, but man, I want to savour it. Because it is okay for her to want that. I want her to be able to tell her sister no, so she can tell a boy outside no. If your daughter is living under your roof and everything you say is yea and amen, what other people say outside will be yea and amen, because she will not have been used to resisting or choosing otherwise. So I've been talking about body boundaries. Let me come to the second one. So body boundaries says, this is my body. I choose what happens here, but I also know that I came from a source, and that source tells me how he designed for me to operate, right? So I know this, I know that, I don't allow this. God is thinking through my thought. God wants to hear my opinion. The whole God is asking humanity to reason with him, and your children cannot reason with you. They say, you talk, they say yes. Amen. Amen. Then you'll be coming here to say, my daughter cannot try that. You'll be shocked. Did you see that foremost? I said, there's the pretender, there's the one that is hiding. Then there's the rebellious one that will challenge you. And that time you say, after all I suffered in this world. I used to do this, I used to do that. This guy walked on me and walked out on me and you want to curse her. The Bible says, provoke your children not to anger. So body boundaries means I start teaching my daughters about themselves physically, as per their body. Then I start teaching them how to protect their mind as well. So when they hear a music video that is all sexual, they can ask themselves, what does this person playing this music want me to do with this music? And once they can identify what that person wants them to do with their body and that music, there's no point anymore. So sometimes I'm watching a show, and someone says something. I'm not saying that's very disrespectful. He shouldn't have said that. And I'm smiling because this is music that adults are dancing to. But my 10-year-old and my 7-year-old can say, oh, wow, that's disrespectful. Body boundaries. The second principle for sex education that works to teach leadership is teaching them about body honor. See yourself the way God sees you, then see others the way God sees them. So let me tell you something I've been doing. I'm going to be hosting a boot camp in August, and I have a group that one of their sessions is going to be about decent dressing. There's a rebellion fueling in our children, our girls, that they don't want to hear about decent dressing, because there's the narrative about boys, like, why can't boys take care of themselves? Why should a boy rape you because of what you wore? Very true. But the body honor principle has a different comes from a different tandem entirely. And it follows like this. A boy has no right to rape me because of what I wore. But I've chosen to see myself and the boy the way God designed for us to be. So the boy may not rape me because of what I wore, but the boy may masturbate when he goes home, or he may turn to porn when he gets home. I don't want to do that to him. Same principle, but different motive. Because the Bible says that if there's something that I want to do that may not be seen in itself, but is capable of making another person sin, then I desist from it. So I'm teaching my daughters under body honor to see themselves the way God sees them, but also see the next girl, the next boy, the way God sees them. Let me tell you how far that can go. It means that if a married man married to another woman shows attention to a girl who's been through like that kind of knowledge and insight, she would think about that woman at home in order to be able to know that I shouldn't be causing her pain, and I don't need this guy here. This kind of guy is not good for me and is not good for her. Body honor. I'm teaching her how to take responsibility. So if my girls want to make a decision, when my girls want to make a decision, right, I want them to think through the whole thing. And so, Irene, is that sex education? You're kidding me. When they start telling them that when you have sex with a man, your hips will expand, I want them to ask, why do I need my hips to expand? And they say it's trending. And then they can ask, who designed the trend? So body honor means I will not put myself under I will not expose myself to any danger just so that I can fit into another person's definition of anything. 100% of the people who die from abortion are girls. And the boys, nobody can put a face to it when the girl is dead. Nobody can put a face to him. He's gone. 100% of the people who are expelled from school because of getting pregnant are girls. And yet girls are not taught to think. Girls know they think. Girls know they get sense. And that's because from home, you're bullying them all over the place. You can't give them opportunity to think through nada. So body honor means I start telling her your royalty. Think through it. Take responsibility for your actions. Like my girls know that if you make a decision, I allow them enjoy the full-blown thing, the full-blown consequences. You get the idea? And that's because I want them to get used to knowing that all decisions have accompanying consequences. So in order for this body honor to work very well, you have to look at your child's design. What are the things she's gifted at? And get her to start working on it. When she starts seeing herself doing things, her sense of worth improves, how she perceives her physical body improves, the kinds of decisions she makes about her own well-being improves. I'm exhausted with seeing women staying in situations where their life is at risk, but they don't know any other way to go. They are stuck. The next step is nurture her mind. You did they buy clothes, buy shoe, buy fashionista. You they do mini me for Instagram. Your girl no get sense. Your daughter cannot think for herself. Her friends she does everything by what her friends are doing, including the one that is irresponsible. Your daughter knows what is wrong, but once friends are around her, she forgets herself. and you're okay with photo shoot, when you finish taking the photo shoot, buy her books, encourage her to sit down and have conversations with you. Stop helping her. Many of you are helping your children too quickly. There's a difficult time. Somebody says something to her, you fight for her. Let her articulate herself. Or some of you, is it the ones that your daughters are now using anger as an escape? Call her back to think through which one is anger. They talk to her, she starts getting angry. You tell her you're pretending. You're going to keep that anger aside and generate thoughts about this subject we're discussing. Who broke the plate in the house? Every time you're always blaming me. Every time you're always, calm down. Who broke the plate? Let's go back to the scenario. Where was the plate? What could we have done differently so that it doesn't recur? So that you can think about what is happening and learn from it. So you have to nurture her mind. You have to buy her books. This summer, fill the house with books. Some of you will be here saying they will not read, they will not read. I think anyway, Wendy's advertising Inner Circle. I know she periodically asks parents to buy books. So join the Inner Circle quickly and go and get your kids reading. I've seen testimonials of people in the Inner Circle saying their children started reading. Whatever you do, find a way for your girls to read. If she doesn't read today, you will read about her tomorrow. Let her read, expand her mind, ask her to read the Bible and learn about God herself. I don't know how women and girls are sleeping with pastors in the name of a miracle. All right, Irene is enough, all right? So let me go to the third pillar. Can I recommend books for the girls over the summer? Number one, Body Smart Girl Bundle. I have a whole range of books on sex education for girls from age 3 to 5 all the way to 15. But then there's also this lady on Instagram at Learning World NG. She sells books of all kinds, devotionals for girls, different things. Just look for her on Instagram, learningworld.ng, and you'll see her resource. Then finally, the third pillar for me is body awareness, where girls get to know the machine that is their body. I call it body awareness and body smartness. I call it body awareness and body smartness, right? Where your daughter understands that she's a machine that God wants to use. So she understands the stages of her life. She understands, so for instance, I have a 10-year-old and I have a 7-year-old. They're definitely in two sex education stages. So when I'm talking to one about certain things, the other is not there. But both of them are aware of the phase that they are in. All right? Both of them are aware of the phase that they are in. So your daughters need to understand where they are. So for instance, my 9 to 11-year-old should know that all girls don't see their periods at the same time. The signs of body changes we must master at home. One of the reasons why sex education is a core for leadership is that when girls do not have the leadership mindset, the biggest place that they display it is with sex-related decisions. Is with kissing a boy in the toilet. Is with allowing a boy touch them inappropriately. Because they're not even aware. They're not self-aware. They're not body aware. They're not aware what is right, what is wrong. They're not aware that, oh, for my cousin to have touched me like that at night, it is wrong. They're violating my body boundary, so I need to report. They're not aware. They're not aware that they're being abused. So teaching them about their body, teaching them about the changes occurring, teaching them about what is to come. Like when I tell parents that once you have a 12-year-old, it's time to talk to her about abortions. And they go, ah. I say, no. Because at 12, their classmates are already experimenting with sex and they're talking about alternatives. But a smart mother, a smart father is waiting for them at that age to say, look, people are going to tell you this, but here are the consequences. If you try this, here are the consequences. You're the first person that should talk to your child about pornography, even before they see it. And you have to be telling them about how it will come. Sometimes you're going to be on your system, you see a pop-up, you may have a picture of someone saying age 29, looking for someone to hang out with. Don't click it. That level of awareness I remember one time late last year, my daughters came with me to work. I think they were on midterm. So one of them was using a laptop at work. And the next teacher said, Mommy, that thing has popped up. That thing has popped up. Come and close it. She brought it. And I smiled. When she's not aware, she clicks it. When she clicks it, that's the beginning of addictions. Oh, you think it's only boys that have porn addictions, right? You're wrong. Girls have porn addictions. And you know, one of the things I tell girls is that the reason why there is a porn, there's even porn in the first place, is because Satan needs you thoroughly triggered so that the day you encounter someone you have a crush on, you're going to have sex without thinking. So the porn is a strategy to get you all excited about it so that you don't have the resolve to say no. Is it about how they manage crushes? Or your daughters don't have a crush? If they're not telling you, then you're in soup. If your daughters are not telling you about crushes, then they're telling someone else. And whoever that person is will determine what you do with those emotions. So part of body smartness means my daughters know when they're having a crush. They know that the hormonal changes in their brain is kicking in. And they know that you like somebody today and after a few days, you don't like them anymore. So you don't act on it. I remember one time when my daughter told me that she had this crush of a boy. Excuse me, and they've even spoken, and they're thinking about getting married. Should I tell them? I didn't even need to tell them anything. I knew it will not last. I knew it will not last. So, but now my baby knows. So she can look at me and say, Mom, we have another crush in church, and we'll all laugh because we know the season is here. So she's a leader. So it means that part of her responsibility is, if she has to do she has to do a task with a boy that she has a crush on. She knows she can't sit with him alone. She should call someone else until she feels ready, so that she doesn't go and act sheepish. And, have you met girls that are like that? So that's part of what we do, raising body smart girls so that they can handle themselves. And this is very critical. God knows that sex can mar the destiny of a girl. I know this firsthand. So sex education is big on God. And when you get sex education right with your girls, you've designed a weapon. She cannot be manipulated. She cannot. And especially when the foundation is God-based, right? Especially when the foundation is God-based, then more than anything else, you know that she will handle whatever is to come. All right? So as I begin to wrap up, this is my last slide. I'm ready to take questions, right? So this is my last slide. Let me tell you something about this post you're seeing. So this is my last slide before I start taking questions. In order for you to raise a leading girl, mommies need to change how they see themselves. So look at this picture here. I put it up on social media 2-3 weeks ago. I asked the question, where and how did girls learn to put up with cheating, disrespectful partners? Where and how did girls learn to put up with cheating, disrespectful partners? And the shocking thing was that I put it up on 4 platforms. I put it up on 4 platforms, and on each of those platforms, 95% of the feedback said they learned it from their mothers. So mothers, the question I'm asking is, what are you telling your daughters about who they are? Was she made for a boy, or she was made for purpose? Are you scared that if your daughter doesn't marry on time, shame will enter? Maybe some of you watching me, your children, sisterly. Maybe some of you watching me, it's not your immediate daughter that you're dealing with. Maybe it's your younger sister. What are you telling your younger sister that your child is hearing you? Her husband will beat her blue black. You tell a woman must endure. Your daughter is hearing that woman must endure. What are you enduring? You, mother. How can I put a post like that on 4 platforms, 2 social media platforms, unrelated, and everybody gathered and said from their mothers? So you want to raise a leading girl, you have to be a leading mom. change your mind about who a woman is. Ask God to heal you of anything that has damaged your perspective about being a woman, so that you can raise a girl who lives in the fullness of what God designed for her to be. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Irene Bankwell. Somebody said, sorry, why am I echoing? I can hear myself after I speak. I don't know why. Okay, I think I'm good now.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sis. That was sipping in. When you gave the analogy, for interestingly, I'm wearing teach, don't hit. That's what is written on my shirt. And
Wow.
when you give the analogy of, you hit a child and you tell them that you love them, and then eventually the girl just learns that when somebody loves, it's okay for that person to hit you. And that was your turning point. One
Yes.
thing that I have found about hitting is that we all need to come to a place where we feel what we feel and understand it ourselves.
Yes.
And get why you shouldn't. There is a
Yes.
why for you. You need to get the why. But is the hitting going to solve your problem, my dear parents? No, it cannot. Of course, you already know where I stand. So it's never going to solve your problem. And unfortunately, that has created more people who have stayed in abusive marriages than ever. I've said this again and again. I said it in my book, Connect to Correct. There is a direct, what is happening today.
Hey, sis, your network, or is it mine? All right, let's just give Wendy a few minutes to come in. Yeah,
Sorry,
she's back. She's back. Yes, his network.
My network.
It's okay,
yes.
sis.
we want girls who are going to build us IT systems that we don't
I'm
have.
telling. What are you saying?
Yeah?
What are you saying? What are you saying?
That was really very profound for me because, of course, I'm very big on not hitting children. I'm very big on connection, and it made a lot of sense. And I hope that this has also liberated a lot of people. Now, when you were speaking, you spoke on how to raise girls who are leaders, starting from their sexuality. I don't think this can be overemphasized.
No.
By the way, Irene has the Body Smart bundle for girls. You want to get that Body Smart bundle. Trust me, it's a step-by-step, series. By the way, you can follow her on RaisingGirls.ng on Instagram. Step-by-step series on how you can actually walk through this journey. One of the things that I have realized is that our idea of how sex should even be taught is even a problem.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
It's even a problem in
Yes.
itself. All right. So it's a whole lot. I saw when you said, "Oh, we're busy on Instagram doing mini me," the girl's head is empty. I had a good laugh. I almost had to lock up. I almost had to put off my camera so that I won't be caught laughing. It was just a statement from every angle, like they would say in Nigerian Palace. Sorry if you're not Nigerian listening to me. I know there are many non-Nigerians listening to me, but hey, I'm Nigerian. I'm speaking our language. All right. So, and it's something that you want to actually invest in. Unfortunately, women also have a problem with investing in knowledge, in quotes.
Yes.
In quotes. I'm saying in quotes because, of course, that doesn't apply to everybody.
But it's changing.
It's changing. We prefer to buy a Shebi than to buy a book. It's a
what about the
thing.
Sis, here's the thing. We prefer to invest in what attracts the man physically. We want him to go, wow. We invest in the physical things and not the internal things. And it is the internal that produces the quality of our lives. I'm not saying don't wear the wigs, but Do it together. Build your mind as you do that. I think you see me like this.
Build your
I
soul,
remove
your
it so that
mind,
I
and
can
your
reason
body.
properly, Akwiwata.
I,
So I
I
can
know,
put my
right?
money, so that I can put my money in the right place. But I'm joking. But you get the idea. Do both. Do
Yes,
both if you can.
a parent reached
But
out to me one of those days and said to me that, oh, the books that she keeps buying, that the children keep stealing it. And I asked her, I said, do you buy designer's bag? She said, yes. I said, what's the most expensive bag you bought? She said, 350,000. I asked her, did the bag spoil? She said, yes. I said, did you buy another one afterwards? She said, yes. I said, what's the most expensive book you bought? She said, 5,000 naira. I said, can you see where your value system is? It's just a question of value. She was quiet. And I don't get it. You buy another one. Clothes tear now, you buy another one for the children.
Simple.
If books tear, you buy another one. If you buy the Body Smart bundle, if it tear, you pay Irene
you
another
buy
money.
Anna, what are you
Send
saying?
you another one, please.
I will send you another one. I will say it's not hard though. Just a few working days.
He will send you another one to you.
We'll send you another one.
Let the children you start from age 0. You know, it has
Yes.
you give your 2-year-old to read. If it
Yes.
hears it, call Irene, tell her, please, my 2-year-old has done the one I have.
It. We'll
Please
send
send
it to
another
you.
one so that I can start from
Simple.
the beginning. All
Yes.
right. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Thank you so much,
and
sis.
again.
Yes,
I
sis.
want to see if there are comments in the comment section. Sorry, not comments, of course.
Questions.
No comments, of course, questions. The comments are killing. They are killing. The fire emojis are everywhere. Okay, someone is asking, how do I get it? Please, how do I get the Body Smart bundle? How much is the Body Smart bundle? It's 18,000 naira. I like the price of that bundle.
18,500. Calm down. Add my 500.
I was even going to say 20,000 naira.
So, but let me explain to you. It's 18,500, but it has 11 resources inside of it.
Yes.
So it means that it can take your children. If you have girls of different ages, it covers for girls from 3 and up. However, we have mini packages we have for different ages. So to shorten the journey, just get on Instagram and look for raisinggirls.ng.
Yes.
Raisinggirls.ng and send me a DM. Somebody asked if there's a TIP discount. There's 1K off for everybody from TIP if you order in 24 hours. Only 1K off. 1K off if you order from TIP.
Better take the 1K off. I didn't even get it from
the 1K off. Oh. The 1K off is paining me. Oh. It's paining me, but
the bundle on Amazon.
The bundle is going to come on Amazon soon, because we want to put it as a full product. We don't want people to buy one. We know some of you will go and buy 1 3 to 5 1 7, so we want to sell it as a full product, the 18.5 full product, but it's coming on Amazon soon. However, there's a book in the bundle called How to Talk with Your Girls About Sex. That book is on Amazon. How to Talk with Your Girls About Sex alone is on Amazon, but all the books for the little girls, we'll bundle them up, especially because of the flashcards that they come with. So we want to make them a full product and put it on Amazon. Remember, 1K off. And when you come into Instagram, raisinggirls.ng, you need to tell me that you're coming from TIP. If not, we'll not go collect that 1K off.
Yes,
you have to tell me you're coming from TIP. Yes.
Use the code TIP. Just use the code TIP, and you have access to all of that.
Can you order outside Nigeria? Yes. To my Instagram, that's all.
I'm going to share the link. Yes, I'm going to share the link to Irene's Instagram on the Telegram channel. Just get there and you will see the details of how you can follow. All right?
Yes.
Someone is asking, what other question do you have? I can't see any question. It's like this session, seeped into you people's mind. All the coaches today came for a kill. They came to kill people. When you are done today, you will sleep very sober. Very sober. By
God's grace. Thank you, ma'am.
Very sober. Thank you so much, Irene.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other question in the
someone asked if she can get from outside Nigeria. Can you order if you're outside Nigeria? Yes, you can. We have shipped to Poland, the UK, the US. Poland, UK, US, and there's one on the way to Dubai. So we ship outside Nigeria.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
that's great. That's great. All right. You can get whatever resource that you have. Invest in resources that will help you raise the
Someone
girls
has
that
another
you need.
question.
You know, I said
Someone has
2
a
days
question.
ago that people are raising outliners. Don't raise slaves. Don't
Yes.
raise. Go ahead.
Someone asked a question. Does the parent have to read the books and explain to the girls? No. There is a parent's book and there is age by age book for the girls. So the parents are reading their own and the girls are reading their own. Yeah. Precious Emobosa, you ask, can they read it themselves and discuss with the parent? Yeah, the children have their own book, they read, discuss with parents. Parents have their own book, they read and discuss with the girls. And then we have flashcards called conversation cards in the bundle about gisting, parents gisting and talking sex education. There's a question card for parents, there's a question card for the girls, just so that we can encourage and help you to start talking about sex education comfortably in your homes. So everybody has their own resource. The parents have their own resource, the girls have their own resource.
All righty. Thank you. I can see how we have done 1 hour, 30 minutes. Nobody's complaining. This is just awesome. Awesome. Absolutely.
The network is not friendly. We need to do this.
Okay. I hope
We
I
need
can
to
be
wrap
heard.
up. Yes.
I hope I can be heard. Yes. All right. So we need to begin to round up. We're going to share all the details that you can get from the Telegram channel. Thank you again, Irene Bangwell,
Thank
for
you,
doing.
sis.
Of course, we do not take
Thank
it
you.
for granted. We are
Thank you.
very honored to have you again at the TIP
Thank you, ma'am.
annual.
Always an
Thank
honor,
you.
ma'am. Thank you so much. God bless you, ma'am.
Session. Just remember that all you need to do is to one person somewhere that you are telling about the TIP annual conference. You can see it's day 5, and I told you we didn't come to joke. Don't worry. You need to be here tomorrow. I can assure you that you really, really need to be here tomorrow. Be sure that you actually log in with us at about the same time today, 3, and then we would raise all the fire that needs to be, raised. And hey, did you get value from this session? If you did, please let me see your comment in the comment section. Share the fire emojis, share this with someone and invite someone to watch the TIP annual conference. And hey, remember that the TIP inner circle is for you. The TIP inner circle is for you to turn around. As everybody's getting jittered, everybody's jittering with all they are hearing, the parents in the inner circle are not jittered. Trust me. They are not jittered. There's a lot. Ebuka said that knowledge creates peace of mind. That's what we have. We're just getting the knowledge, sipping it in, and working right there with it. As we begin to round up, we send in for you to hear again the review of a parent in the TIP inner circle. Thank you and have a good evening.
Hello, my name is Faithful Otitigbe. I'm a missionary mom of 3, an intentional parent, and a member of the VIP, the Inner Circle, the Yadas. Yes, I'm an Inner Circle parent and a senior Yada. So, the intentional parent journey has been very profound for me. It all started when I had, will I call it an encounter with my daughter. That very day, she made a little mistake while washing the plates, and I turned, wanting to correct her. But I immediately saw fear in her eyes, and she went down and said, looking straight into my eyes, Mommy, please stop beating me. That was a soul call for me, and I froze. I knew from that point I needed to do something different about my parenting. So I started making researches. I stumbled on a few parenting courses I took here and there. And then I met the book of Connect to Correct on Facebook. Somebody was actually advertising the book. After reading the back cover of the book, I said I wanted to get this book. I couldn't get it then where I was, but I kept pressing until I got it. When I finally got it was the time the call for the inner circle was coming up, and I plugged in. I entered the inner circle without really a clue of what it was going to be, but I just had this desire to parent better. I wanted my children to be raised better. I was raised quite okay, but I wanted to do something different and something more. And so the journey started. And one thing that stuck with me as we started was when the convener of the group, Wendy Olungi, said parenting was about me, about you, the parent, and not the child. That word stuck to me for days, and I kept asking, how would parenting be about me? Then things started unfolding stage by stage. We started with the book studies, and the whole process has been more like unveiling me, discovering me, transforming me, and then passing it on to my children. Being in that circle has affected everything about my family life and even my work life. It has helped me have better relationship. It has helped me connect more with people, because the things you learn are not just for your children. The things you learn go beyond your children to your everyday life. You can just see it, being applied, and then you see the reality and the results at your face. So that has been one thing about the inner circle that has stuck with me. It has been a journey, it has been a process. For my children, I've seen that fear gradually peel off my daughter's eyes. I've also had to grow more with them, bond more with them, understand them more as we go on. I've had to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. And one big thing for me is the fact that I've been able to get my spouse along in the process, because definitely when anyone sees results, he definitely will buy into whatever you're doing. So you may be asking me, why should I join the inner circle? Probably you don't even relate to what I am saying right now. The truth is, the intentional parent, or becoming an intentional parent, is not a norm. You're unschooling the old, the way we were raised, to become a better parent. And the truth is, you can't do it alone. Whenever anyone is relearning, unlearning, relearning, he needs a tribe. He needs somewhere where he can really grow. Else, he becomes an island. He becomes isolated, and then falls back to the old. Becoming an intentional parent will change your belief, will change your structure, will change a whole lot about you. And you need a tribe to strive. Without a tribe, you will go one step forward, 10 steps backward. Trust me. In the inner circle, we are not a circle of perfect parents. We are actually growing together. So we hold each other's hands, accountable. You fall down, there's somebody there to pick you up and tell you, well done, keep running, keep moving. I call it the parenting hub, your safe place where you can come, you can vent your sorrow, you can vent your pain, and be sure that someone is there to encourage you to keep pushing on. So today, I invite you to join the inner circle, and sure, you will have more testimonies than I do. See you there.